This is Ashley Chelsea's end of year presentation for the Top Scholar program. What we asked our students to do is take about 10-15 minutes and take a look back at the previous year with hopefully a focus on their growth and what they've learned over the year. And then we asked them to look a little bit ahead and tell us what is next coming up for them. Once the student finishes, I'll offer a few comments and then open things up to the audience, starting with the faculty and staff that are joining us and then everyone else in the room. And I will monitor the chat. And with that, AC, take us away. Tell us about your first year.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Ashlie, Chelsie, Aminkeng, and thank you so much for coming to my Top Scholar End of Year presentation. So before I begin, I want to express a huge gratitude. I know this is a really early morning, so thank you so much for attending despite your busy schedules. I want to give a great big thank you to Christy, Fernando, George, Melissa, and the whole entire Top Scholar program. Thank you for giving me the honor and blessing being here, and I just can't believe it's been a year already. Thank you to Dr. Perry and Professor Glover for coming here despite your schedules. I'm really happy you came here, and your presence here means that you signify my undergraduate journey, and I really thank you for your support. And to my friends and family, thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. And to everyone here and on Zoom, another huge thank you, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation. So before I begin talking about what I did this year, I just would like to present the agenda to everyone. So first, I'm going to start a little bit about me, the lessons I've learned, and the 3 pillars: knowledge, leadership, and service, my plans for this summer, and obviously some fun things I did. So a little bit about me. Hi, if you didn't know, my name is Ashlie Chelsie Aminkeng. I'm also nicknamed AC. I am a freshman part of the class of 2026 Top Scholar program. I have a minor in biochemistry with a minor in neuroscience, and I'm interested in pursuing medical school. So here's some of the lessons learned. So one of the biggest lessons I learned is widening my perspectives. Through Top Scholar, the Honors College, meeting faculty, mentors, and friends, this semester and this year in general really pushed me to expand my interests and expand my perspectives beyond just not only my biochemistry degree, but also my personal interests. So as you can see, can I laser point it? I'll just look at this. Oh, this works. As you can see right up here, this is a picture of me. I went to the Guadalupe Park with my friends Indra and Jose just a few weeks ago, actually. So this is me in the river on a rock. I do like hiking and everything, but my parents know I'm not really a water person and getting into like rivers. So this really pushed me to basically explore and really push myself. And this really taught me to be like one with nature and want to do more nature projects in the future. Another big one that I think we could all relate to is time management. I think this was a skill that I was trying to develop in high school, but once I really got into my undergraduate career, this was really necessary, especially when the classes got intense. So as you can see, this is me studying. Some of the methods I used this year were Google Calendar. I love Google Calendar. I use Remind. I use Focus, use Pomodoro, time my schedule techniques. This all helped me manage my time, and I hope throughout my undergraduate career, I can harness this so I can use it now and throughout my life as an adult. And then lastly, prioritizing self-care and happiness. I know during my one-on-one meetings with Fernando, we talked about this a lot. I knew, especially when semesters get heavy and exams are rolling in, I really wanted to be more intentional on how I took care of myself and how I pursue my own happiness. As you can see here, this is me smiling, and I'm smiling so much because I'm eating Bahama Bucks. It's one of my favorite desserts to eat. This is a super sour green apple. It's one of my favorite flavors. If you have not been to Bahama Bucks, I totally recommend. This is a big mind-blowing experience once I moved to Texas. I never knew it existed in Delaware, so I'm very happy. So doing stuff like eating Bahama Bucks, going to restaurants, crocheting, those things that make me happy, I really love them because they help me maintain my self-care, and these are strategies I want to continue. Now is the 3 pillars. So these are just sneak peeks of some of the stuff I'm presenting to you. As you can see right here in the right corner, there's a picture of me. So I'm holding a body prosthetic, and we're doing some training. Over here is me with my organization. This is an organization I'm very passionate about. This is our induction ceremony. And then here is food for one of the service projects I'll be talking about. So for the knowledge academic accomplished pillar, there are 3 big things this year I want to take away. My internship at the Long School of Medicine at the UT Health Science Center, San Antonio. I was essentially an intern that did maternal prenatal research. I was also an intern this semester actually for the Institute of Health Disparities Research. Then also I want to highlight the honors Monsters Medicine course I took. So first, Long School of Medicine. So Long School of Medicine, I'm an intern in Dr. Pruitt's lab. Her lab's an OBGYN lab. We specialize in maternal, fetal, and prenatal research. So this year, actually in February, I got published, and I was very happy about that. And my research, along with the lab's research, was presented at the annual meeting for Society of Maternal Fetal Medicine. So this project was basically about the effects of lactation on the mother-offspring interaction on oxytocin and postpartum health. Most people associate oxytocin with being released during childbirth, but oxytocin is also released during lactation. So Dr. Pruitt and the lab, we wanted to see if we limited lactation, how would this affect the mothers? And for this part of for this research, what I was primarily charged of was CODA. CODA is this device that allows you to measure the blood pressure of mice. So instead of using the vein pulsations in humans, we use the tails, and I put cuffs. I really love doing this. I could do about 6 to 10 mice in like 3 hours. It was a very hands-on activity. It was one of my favorite things doing in the lab. Then also, there's a poster session this year in March. So this March, I presented a research project I did earlier in 2022, which is the role of statins in preventing preterm birth associated inflammation in the fetal brain using murine models to improve current preterm delivery outcomes. So preterm birth right now currently in our society does not have any medical treatment. We can reduce the underlying symptoms, but there's nothing to actually solve the mechanisms associated with preterm birth. So Dr. Pruitt and other OBGYN researchers realized there's a correlation with inflammation with preterm birth. And we wanted to use statins because statins, as we know, they're used in cardiovascular treatment, but they also have anti-inflammatory properties. So Dr. Pruitt hypothesized that we could use a medication that's currently on the market, we can treat preterm birth and make it more affordable, more accessible to different populations. So here is me. So you can see all the stuff I did at the lab. So right here is actually a picture of a fetal mice in the placenta. During the lab, they allowed me to actually reduce the surgeries and dissect the mice. And I actually got to see what subjects that I use in my research. Here is a picture of a fetal mice. I personally think they're very, very cute. Then over here, I basically turned it around to get a better perspective. I also wanted to provide the cages that we use in the lab. As an intern, and I've been here since high school senior year, I learned how to take care of the cages and basically prepare them for the mice. So here they are. Here is a microscope set up at dissections I was doing to get the fetal mice. And for this, and you can see right here, there's a brain. The reason why there's a brain in particular is that preterm birth affects 3 areas of the body primarily: the nervous system, gastrointestinal, and cardiovascular. Because I have an interest in pursuing neurosurgery, I asked Dr. Pruitt if I could interconnect my interest in OBGYN and women's health with my interest in neuroscience. So I specialize in doing treatments with the fetal brain. Then here's a picture of me smiling after I did my CODA. I was very happy to finish. That day was pretty exhausting. The mice were pretty rowdy, so it's hard to get proper measurements. Then here's another picture of dissections. What I truly love about Dr. Pruitt's lab and about women's health research is that even though I never knew I'll be interested in the first place, I kind of grew my curiosity because what I love about this lab is that not only is our research providing scientific advancements, but it's also helping reduce the hesitancy related to women's health. Because as we know, there's a lot of hesitancy and stigma related to women's health due to bias and discrimination. So to be able to be a part of scientific discoveries and also reduce health disparities, which I'm very passionate about, was a really huge blessing. And I'm happy that she's including me as part of her lab. So here's another project that I did. Compared to Dr. Pruitt's lab, which is more web-based, this is a more sociology-based lab. And I actually talked to Chrissy about this because coming to college, I was very interested in health disparities. And I asked her, hey, Chrissy, how is it possible to do a sociology-based lab? Because I've always been used to science, pipetting, that's all I knew. So I asked her, how else can I get involved in research, which is not really wet lab-based? So then she basically encouraged me to pursue IHCR, the Institute of Health Disparities Research. So in this is a big organization that we basically, as the name suggests, we do health disparities research and the sickness in local San Antonio. What I'm primarily in charge of and working on, I'm an intern for the PASA project, which is essentially preventing adolescent alcohol and substance abuse. So this is a 10-week project that we actually implement in the schools during the spring semester, and we go to Tafoya Middle School and San Antonio Independent School District. Ooh. So right here is a picture of what I've done as an intern. So basically my primary job as an intern is to implement the PASA curriculum. So the PASA curriculum, we have 3 goals to basically teach the students about emotional intelligence, peer pressure, and the effects of how alcohol can on the developing brain. So as you can see here, one of the things I did as an intern is prepare posters. So on the poster, you can see different moods like a smiley face, a meh face, a sad face, and I don't know. I primarily wanted to help them with this poster because as we do the lessons in the workbooks, a lot of students don't know how to express themselves verbally or know how to kind of fill this information. So by having a poster that we could just point to, our students can move around the room saying what they represent. It's a much easier way to gauge understanding about the knowledge, especially because we're working with the 7th grade and 8th grader population. Then we also do presentations. Up here is the section 2, Goal Get 'em. This is in the beginning of the spring semester. So before we begin our curriculum implementation, we have a goal for each of the 7th graders to hold them accountable, whether they want to learn more about alcohol and the dangers of it, they want to learn more about their health, they want to learn more, be a facilitator, whether in an environment of alcohol, how to manage with their families. This allows us to do one-on-one setting goals with them, and we keep implementing and checking on these goals throughout the semester so they can be held accountable and kind of help them figure out how to have goals, not only for this passive project, but just for life. Because in this area, a lot of these students don't have the resources to be able to figure out goals and have a lot of mentoring. So that's what the passive project tries to implement. Then we also have 2 here. Too Good for Drugs is our specific program that we use. And for this Too Good to Drugs, we try to talk about bonding and relationships. This is really important for the 7th graders, learning about how to form relationships with others, how to navigate middle school, how to navigate rough environments. Then we also have a script. So I helped Dr. Eric Chituk, he's my PI, and the rest of the team to make scripts. So we figure out what we specifically say and what workbook page to turn to. And it's really important for us to be very precise in what we're saying and how we're doing these things so that the children have a guide and they don't get confused. And now Mantra's Medicine. So this semester, I was very honored to take the Mantra's Medicine course, which basically talked about medical experimentation in US historical context. So I took this course because Chelsie recommended it to me, and Professor Glover here is actually the instructor of this course. This is by far one of my favorite courses this semester in the year. So this course, I was able to publish articles on the Mantra's Medicine website, which is supported by the Honors College. And the topics I did were neurosurgery, malpractice, Dr. Dev, horseshoe crabs and vaccine research, the 1996 drug trials in Nigeria, the Stateville Penitentiary malaria study, and medical racism in Puerto Rico. Then also throughout this course, we did independent investigations where I did research on specific topics and medical experimentation. So I did a 10-minute presentation on the San Antonio pill study, which actually happened in 1990. So that shows you how medical experimentation is still very prevalent in our society. I also did a 10-minute presentation on the Pfizer drug trials, which I used to support my article. Then I also did a 45-minute class presentation on medical bondage. This is a book by Dr. Cooper Owens, and it basically talks about American gynecology history. And what's interesting about it is that we acknowledge that American gynecology history was built on the sexual exploitation of enslaved Black women and immigrant Irish women. So bringing to light these issues in our current medical system and bringing back the history is very important. So here's a scrapbook of what I've done. So these are basically screenshots of the topics I did. So right here, you're going to see Trovin. So Trovin was basically the medication Pfizer used in Nigeria. The issue about Trovin and why this is a big controversial issue is that Trovin wasn't tested and approved for children and actually can lead to permanent speech impediments, hearing impediments, even death. But despite this, Pfizer basically administered this drug to children during the meningitis epidemic without their consent, which led to the injury of about 200 children in Nigeria, specifically Kano. Here's a screenshot of the website, actually, of my neurosurgery malpractice article. This is about Dr. Dev. His name is Christopher. He was a former neurosurgeon, but he got arrested for malpractice. And this is one of his patients. Her name is Mary Erford. She basically, because of his malpractice, she was permanently paralyzed. And she came to court to basically bring agency and advocate for her and the other patients who are harmed by Dr. Dev. Here is the picture of Stateville Penitentiary. This is where the malaria study happened. This article is very interesting to me because it basically talked about incarcerated populations and how coercion can kind of obscure informed consent. Here, below here are screenshots of some of the presentations I did. So this is about the San Antonio pill study and how this related specifically to the Mexican-American community here in San Antonio. Here is from my medical bondage 45-minute class discussion. We basically dived into the book, and I want to talk about the immutability of Blackness, Black hearing discrimination, and how this relates to Title IX in present-day society. Here, you might be wondering, what is this blue liquid? This is actually horseshoe crab blood. And what is interesting about it is that they use this to detect contamination in vaccines, like the COVID vaccine. And this study, I basically talked about vaccine research in animals and how there's exploitation of horseshoe crabs. And then right here, this is a screenshot of an article that was released in Puerto Rico. This is about Dr. Cornelius Rose. Dr. Cornelius Rose was a huge physician in terms of cancer research, but he went to Puerto Rico and he killed 8 Puerto Ricans by injecting cancer to them because He had a very racist stereotype about Puerto Ricans, saying that they're lazy and undeserving opportunities. So he thought they didn't deserve healthcare. So I really wanted to bring him to like this article to show that this was very recent in about, I believe, the 1900s, but he would never receive any reparations. He just fled the country to show how medical experimentation, history, and exploitation relating to the US, a lot of people get away with it, but by bringing awareness to these issues, we can bring more light and actually have true conversations and help the individuals.
Please see everyone give you a time check for 20 minutes.
Okay, thank you. Here are some of the leadership that I did. So one of the leadership activities I did was AMSA, the American Medical Student Association, and Top Scholar as a junior director. So here are some of the pictures of AMSA. This is one of the opportunities I was very passionate about. So here, AMSA was actually chosen to come to the College of Science banquet. So here's me and some of the other officers. Then I also, as the head of the activities committee, I held events. And one of the biggest events I held this year was the induction ceremony. AMSA has now had an induction ceremony for over 4 years. So I wanted the way to implement and actually recognize our students. We had 70 guests. And as the MC and also the organizer, I had charge of the script, the food, the decorations, how it will go. So this really, I was telling Fernando about this actually, and this really gave me empathy for how Christy, Fernando, Melissa, and the whole entire Top Scholar team run selection. Because even the small event was very stressful for me, even though I enjoyed it. So I really saw how hard they work. Here's a picture of our family feud event that I made. And here's a picture of me eating a cupcake, because we recently had a cupcake wars competition. You know those baking shows, so you decorate cupcakes and you win a prize. I wanted to recreate that. So there was leftover cupcakes, so I ate some. You can see here of our members like decorating the cupcakes. And then AMSA, for AMSA, I came in as an event coordinator, but we expanded our organization. So now I'm a head of a committee, and these are the 3 committee members who will be joining me in the fall. And here's Top Scholar. So Top Scholar, these are pictures of me before selection. Very excited because now I'm a freshman and now I don't have to stress about being selection. I see the experience from a different lens. And then this is also us, me, Marissa, and Journey doing Adopt a Spot. I was very grateful to be part of Top Scholars board as a junior director. This really gave me insight about leadership and how to incorporate leadership for the sake of other people. And it's really gave me insight of how to drive AMSA. And I'm really looking forward to be more involved in Top Scholar events in the future. And now I'm very happy that I was able to grow my professional development through certifications. I was able actually to get 5 certifications this year. 1 in medical scribing with specialization in emergency medicine. I also am a certified adult first aider from the National Council for Mental Wellbeing. I got a drug education social services certification from the San Antonio Corazon Clinic, which is one of the volunteering activities I'll talk about. I also got a wound care certification for street medicine from Corazon harm reduction. And through the Honors College and Top Scholar event, I got first aid and CPR certified. And then here are some of the services. You can see Corazon Harm Reduction is a drop-in daycare center, and we do peer outreach. This is San Antonio River Aid, which I did during UTSA Day of Service. Corazon Clinic, which I do to gain clinical experience. Educate and Excel Academy. I basically work at Rudder Middle School and NISD, and I have a mentee. She recently immigrated from Afghanistan, and we basically bond by, we were both interested in surgery, and having a younger figure to basically be with her and talk with her and implement with her really showed me that I'm interested in working with, being a mentor and working with different sort of populations. And this is Brain Exercise Initiative. It's a new volunteer program that we work with Alzheimer's dementia patients and nursing homes. So here are some of the pictures of me staying involved. Here's a picture of me trying to learn how to crochet. I'm very happy. I turned my experience with my mentee into an enrichment project. Here's me trying to learn the basics. And in here in the picture, you can actually kind of see my mentee right here in the red. For privacy reasons, I didn't like put her full face. But yes, we're trying to learn together. Here's a picture of one of the safe sex kits we do through harm reduction. Some of the training and certifications I got here in pictures as well. And this is the site for harm reduction. We go downtown San Antonio, open up a tent, we provide food, water, they can get safe sex kits, they can get overdose kits with naloxone. And they can also, and then they also get basic wound care and support and first aid kits as well, while also doing needle exchange. And now are my summer plans. So I'm looking forward to go back to Long School to work as an intern in Dr. Pruitt's lab to do more OB/GYN research. I will also be getting more involved in Corazon harm reduction, basically performing street medicine and learning more about working with vulnerable populations in my local community. I'll also be doing Corazon Clinic. What I really love about Corazon Clinic, they have a pharmacology unit. I'm a biochemistry major and I'm very interested in pursuing medicinal chemistry before I graduate. So by working in the farm clinic, and also working with patients, this gives me actually in-person experience and how I can kind of dive about that during my junior and senior years. I'll also be working in Brain Exercise Initiative. I'll be going to the nursing homes doing a writing, speech, and math implementation with Alzheimer's dementia patients and working to plan for AMSA next semester. So here, before I end, I just want to include some pictures of fun. Like I said, self-care is very important for me this semester, so I try my best to prioritize fun and happiness. So you can see me, this is at the Wonder Care with some of my friends. You can see this here. This is me, Indra, Jose, and Indra's sister, and we went to get hibachi. I've never been to hibachi. I totally recommend it. It's a beautiful experience. Then this is me with more food, hanging out with my friends for my birthday. This is us when we went shopping. So as you can see, I really try my best to explore and take the most of my opportunities as a top scholar student as an undergraduate, because college is your oyster, and I really wanted to emphasize that and be intentional on how I pursued my undergraduate career this year. And with that, thank you so much for attending. Once again, I really appreciated taking your time out of your day to see me and listen to me today. And I hope you enjoyed what I did this year. And I look forward for more success in the future. Thank you very much.
Great job,
Thank you.
AC. It's been a fantastic year, I think, for you. My question for you is about your outside of the classroom experience and how you think they might be informing what you're doing in the classroom, or helping you, or distracting you. Can you talk about that?
Yes. So for my outside experiences, my goal was that I think this kind of came about through Montrose medicine and learning about medical experimentation history. I realized I was very interested in working with vulnerable populations. This could be through ethnic culture. This could be through disabilities. This could be through immigrant student people. This could be downtown populations. So I really wanted to get more involved in that. And how this kind of correlates to my in-class experience is that, as I said, I really want to go into medical school and be a healthcare professional. And I'm also taking science classes and classes that kind of correlate through that. So by doing these opportunities, this is kind of showing me how I want to be as a physician, and how as a physician in the future, not only do I want to practice clinical profession as a neurosurgeon, but I also be the front lines of reducing health disparities, bringing more representation to the medical field, helping reduce the healthcare hesitancy that we currently have in this country, allowing people to have more access to scientific literacy, and making healthcare a more affordable, accessible, and not as scary environment for people in this country. Thank you, Christy. And thank everyone for coming again.
From folks or questions, starting with
Well, you sleep.
I was wondering the same thing.
Yes, I do sleep. I actually do love sleep. That's why time management, I wanted to include that because it was very important for me, because I really I had a lot of things I really wanted to do. So I was really stressed about how can I manage them. But I realized my dad always says time is the most valuable thing. He's right here in the audience too. So he really pushed me, reminding me that before I started college to use my time wisely, which I try to do that. And I realized by actually taking care of my sleep and my health, I did have time to do all these things and more. So I'm really grateful that I tried to prioritize time management this year, because this was truly a big game changer in how I can do my undergraduate career as a freshman. And there are comments. Oh, so Pompty and Tejas. Oh, thank you very much, Tejas. I really appreciate it. And Audie. Oh, thank you very much, Audie. I really appreciate it. And yes, I can't wait to be roommates next year. And so Pompty, yay! Thank you so much, so Pompty. I really appreciate it. And to everyone on Zoom and everyone here in person, I just want to give a huge thank you again. I know this is the early morning, so I'm just so grateful you came to join me again. Thank you.
Other thoughts from, so, first of all, I know students are busy, and also, because you were amazing in class. And you were very invested in the subject matter and all of that, and I'm wondering, I mean, you spoke about it a little bit, but of course, in the class, we talk a lot about how we pull that history out, right, and how we can use it to be, you talked about it as a professional, like your future as a professional. How do you see that also manifesting in your own personal relationship with medicine as a patient and maybe as an advocate for family?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Glover. So actually for that, I kind of see like like Professor Glover said, this information not only taught me about medical experimentation history, but how to bring agency and actually humanize these experiences. So as a patient and currently as an undergraduate, some of the ways I want to try to bring its implementation is that when I go to the physician, to try to bring advocacy, ask questions, bring agency, but also through volunteering experiences. Like I said, I do volunteering like downtown, I do volunteering in the clinic, I also interact with my classmates. So whether it is being more respectful to people with mental illnesses, or not being so strict to criticize people of different racial backgrounds or disabilities, though these tiny methods make a big difference, and just having a more mature perspective is how I want to kind of implement this into my everyday practice. As I learn more, read more books, and gain more perspectives, I hope to be more understanding and more open-minded to this history and how I implement it with everyone around me.
We have about 2 more minutes. I won't take long. I'm super proud of you.
Thank you, Fernando. Thank you for supporting me. Fernando is a big help as I try to get through these activities and how to manage them. So I just want to say a big thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Our next presenter is going to be